let's go. Let's head on over to Litquania, shall we? Previously on Kimba TV. Do you, like, you see this, right? For me, brother, if we don't change structure and make another higher high, and like it starts to turn from here, or even if it goes all the way to the single point and it starts to go and it loses that orange line, I don't know if I want to long that 92 anymore. I think it goes lower. Okay, if this comes back to here, and if the reaction looks good, that might end up being a long. Okay, but we don't do anything blind, and we don't know what it's gonna do until we get to see the reaction. Yo, Lions, let's get it! Math, let's go! Shiba! Let's go! We're juicing! Too easy! How we doing, Lions? God damn, it's too easy. Hey! How we doing? Happy Thursday, y'all. Today is a little bit of a shorter stream. I gotta take care of some IRL business. Okay, nice little rotate, huh? Value area low. That would have been a nice little scalp long, huh? Easy money. All right, let's get ready for the RTH. How y'all doing? You know what? Today's a little bit of a shorter stream, so, and the fact that Eminem is playing, I think we're gonna do some altcoin nerd out. All right. Easy money. Too easy. All right, everything looks good. PPI is not so good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. There's a couple of things. One is, do you understand the relationship between CPI and PPI? Are you just taking it at face value, or are you comparing it to the previous ways that it reacted? So remember, you don't ever want to just look at the data at face value. You want to analyze the derivative data. Okay? You don't want to look at a car and say, oh, it's going 100 miles per hour, it's fast. It's a lot better to look at the acceleration. Does that make sense? So you don't want to look at a big ass truck going 100 miles per hour and say that that's going fast. You don't know how long it took. So make sure that you are, this is what I would say. If you can't remember what happened in the past, you're always trading the data at face value for the first time every time. All right. So it's actually good. Yeah. Rate cuts are at like 96% probability now, right? So yeah, look, 98.1% now for rate cut. So, the data is the data, just we'll continue to watch this and we'll see how boot gammas come in, but literally everything looks like we're going to have a rate cut. All right. Itch Gib sub says ChatGPT says it's 5% chance for rate cuts. That's because, well, that's ChatGPT for you. Yeah. Imagine listening to ChatGPT, but like disregarding the actual CME Fed Watch tool. Yeah. I mean, AI is good for like Coiner protocol, and making songs about rice getting harvested, but don't use ChatGPT to learn. It's going to fuck you up. All right. But I'm sure you already knew that. Fed Watch tool, not retail shit. Which one do you think is retail? The official CME tool or ChatGPT? You tell me. Do whatever you think is right though, my boy. Yeah, I can't really help you if you think the Fed CME Fed Watch tool is retail, but ChatGPT isn't. Can't really help you there. All right, any other questions? And really the question would be, has this ever been wrong? I mean, the data is the data, right? So you tell me, how many times has this been wrong? You tell me. I mean, we've had how many FOMCs have we seen together? You know that I've been streaming for 3 years now. We've seen 20 plus FOMCs together. So if this is the first time that you're looking at this, you got to get caught up. Make sure you get caught up and understand what it is. But imagine thinking that this is retail and you didn't even spend the 30 seconds to go back and take a look at if this is high probability or low probability. The data is the data. Yeah, Doobie says, I took a short at 7.5 on a bigger position. Nice. I mean, from a conceptual standpoint, staying above 100 means that we're going to rotate to the other side of value, right? So, yeah, you could be looking for a short, but as of right now, you probably don't want to short anything until it loses the 100K. Otherwise, you're going to look for the other side of 105. So, yeah, let's just take it day by day, level by level, math by math. It's pretty straightforward. Ichabod says, what would be better for the US dollar if we get a cut or if we don't? I think you're a couple weeks behind, Ichabod. What I would do is I would just make sure that you're caught up on all the FOMCs that we've watched. All right? And don't try to answer questions like that, Ichabod. It's a very retail thing to do. All right? Just look at the data. Okay? If you and I go back and we compare all of this, because the thing is every retail tries to answer questions like that. You're not Jerome Powell. Okay. Do you really think you know what would be better for the US dollar? I don't think you do. I don't think any of us does. Rather, what I would rather do is look at this and say, how many times has this been wrong in the last 3 years? Oh, it's never been wrong? Oh, okay. The data is the data. You could sit there and try to ask abstract questions like that and think that you know how to make it, like pretend like you think you know what's better for the dollar. But I like to just go off of data, man. Yeah, I've done that in the past, asking abstract conceptual questions like that and thinking that I was Jerome Powell. We don't know shit, my guy. Yeah, so I think it's kind of a dangerous path to be, trying to ask questions like that. You definitely don't want to trade like that though, that would be more for like spot, so if you're going to do like Warren Buffett shit and you're going to be in spot, then yeah, but derivative trading doesn't care about fundamentals like that. It's more about where is the liquidity, where are the imbalances. All right, but like I said, I don't know how many FOMCs you've seen. You know what I mean? If I were a big investor, I'm going to just stop right there. So every month, retail tries to have those conversations. I don't know if that's really the best way to do it. I don't know how many FOMCs you've traded with that kind of mentality. So you do you. But this is like our 30th FOMC. Like every month, some cute little retail lion cub tries to have that conversation. But it's not really that productive. So just go off of data and probabilities. No. That dude is fucking annoying. Yeah. But be nice. Remember, whether it's Sato, like when we talk about Sato, we're not literally talking about Sato. We're talking about the retail mindset. When we're talking about Mario, we're not literally talking about Mario Fibonacci. We're talking about that hater, jealous mindset, right? They just represent, a personality or a mindset, right? We're not literally counter trading Sato. We're counter trading the retail mindset. We're not really clowning on Mario Fibonacci individually. We're clowning on the hater mindset. The jealous mindset. yeah, 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 juice, juice, juice. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? What you guys think? It's only been like 45 minutes since US market open, but in general, what do you guys think about the math? What do you guys think about the preparation? What do you guys think about me abruptly going, you know what? We should pull the bigger fib. And I told y'all about the gap, and I told y'all about the RTH gap, and I asked y'all, hey, what does this mean? All right. What are some things that we've learned and seen together? If this is the gap, and if it dips its toes in and it goes right back out, what does that mean? Is that bullish or bearish? You guys tell me. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Are we juicing? The math is going to tell you. Don't be making shit up. You know, don't get got on 5-minute wicks. Don't get got on, you know, pre-30-minute candle closes. Am I right, chat? How we doing? Every day you have an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're getting better, that you can be the trader that we all aspire to be. How we doing? We good? We good? Nobody got bearish down here, right? No, nobody got bearish down here on these wicks, right? Nobody got. Yeah, it's just math. It's easy money, Bugatti money, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I say a lot of these things have not changed for a very, very long time. What do you guys starting to understand why I like to prioritize the S&P and traditional market confluence over other data points when it's a week like this week? CPI, PPI, options expirations, and then next week it's going to be the same. I'm going to be looking at Bugammas. I'm going to be looking at gaps. I'm going to be looking at levels on S&P to try and correlate it back over to Bitcoin. But the concepts don't really change, right? So if that's the gap and it dips its toes in and it comes right back out, well, that's bullish. The opposite is if it starts to spend time, then you're probably going to rotate to the other side. So if you're somebody that is or was looking for maybe a long on S&P, somebody like me from the golden pocket confluencing with the point of control, I know that even if I get filled, it has to get the fuck out, right? So maybe on CME day, this actually goes and I get that entry that I want. And if you guys are scalping with me, you guys need to understand that, like, you need to get out. You can't do this and start hanging around. You do this, you know, you might as well close that because it has a higher chance to do that. But anyways, what do you guys think? I mean, it's mathing, right? Same shit that we always talk about. So 7 minutes and 20 seconds on the 30-minute candle close, right? Some people may have already market smashed along on S&P. Some people could be entering at the point of control and their stop loss is this wick, right? Some people are going to wait for the 30-minute candle close to really close outside of gap, right? Lots of different ways that you can play. Some people are going to wait to long until the gap is closed. I don't know. You know? But we Gucci. And then, you know, obviously on Bitcoin, we already talked about Bitcoin, but, you know, is it going to hold VWAP? Is it going to hold? So here's let's check what it's doing. Still holding VWAP. What y'all think about all this, man? This is pure math. This is an easy day today. I hope all this shit is kind of making sense, y'all. All right. But it all starts with things like understanding, okay, this is kind of bullish, right? And you're starting to look for levels. And you're starting to look at imbalances. And you're starting to basically... you just want the data to tell you what you should do and which way the market's heading, right? This is math, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Hawk says, it's crazy how my emotions toy with my logic. That's okay. Crypto Hawk, did you hear about how next week I'm going to be doing a streamathon, and next week I'm going to be giving all the files and templates, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to set value high, value low, settlement, all that shit. I'm also, I think, going to be introducing the Discord VIP thing, and I think next week I might choose like 5 to 10 people, and every week we'll rotate, different people through. But for that week, I will hold those 10 people's hands the whole fucking week. And so, Crypto Hawk, maybe if you get selected, every morning we'll regroup. You tell me what you're looking at, what your levels are to the downside and to the upside. And if you have trade setups, we can talk about it. And if you do get into a position, and like even before you get filled, we can talk about it, because you'll have access to the Kimba classroom where you'll have direct access to me that whole week. All right. And like we can keep each other in check. I'm not going to let you let the emotions get the best of you. But Crypto Hawk, were you here since the beginning of the morning? Were you here since the beginning of the morning? I flat out said, this is like, we're kind of bullish today. I don't know if you heard me talk about, I want to nerd out on some altcoins just in case there's a long opportunity on some of these ones that are lagging behind. Did you hear how I said, let me pull the fib on ES? And I noticed that for ES, there's an RTH gap that formed above, and there's also one below. So right off the get-go, I know that, okay, right off the get-go, this could be bearish, right? But I know that PPI and CPI is bullish. So I'm going to be looking for longs, right? Have you noticed that I've been really trying to play S&P a lot more often than I normally do? So I'm just, right? Like I'm thinking to myself, fuck, man, I would love a long right there. I would love a long right there. I didn't get it. It is what it is. But I was ready to long this bitch. Point of control. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Obviously, I needed it to do exactly this reaction. It needed to dip its toes in and then get out. It like kind of front ran me, whatever. I still kind of had the right idea. And if I had gotten filled, as soon as it broke out, my stop loss would have been in profit, so I wouldn't have lost. So whatever. And then I would like be aiming for TP1 for the gap close and the VWAP as resistance. Right? And then if it breaks out and it starts to go, then, it's a free roll at that point. So I would have probably closed 40% right here and then let the 60% run. But yeah, so, and then obviously now I can't lose on this long. Let's say that it did actually go and hit me, right? I can't lose. So if it can't fill the gap and it just shits itself, I can't lose. So it's a free roll. Yeah, and then like Bitcoin is kind of the same thing. Bitcoin, all you really have is VWAP, single print, point of control, and the RTH VWAP. Its own RTH. So like Bitcoin isn't bearish until VWAP and point of control is lost. Rather, if it's turning it into support with these crazy wicks, that's actually bullish, right? Also, those highs are ass. So, like, I wouldn't be, what did I say? Do you remember what I said yesterday? I will never be in a short if a high looks like that, right? So yeah, I mean, we'll hold each other accountable, and we'll talk about it, and hopefully, whether it's you helping me or me helping you, we won't let each other get emotionally compromised. So this is how I would play it. It's a shorter stream today. I gotta run errands, and so I'm not gonna chase this. I missed the long opportunity right there, but that's okay. I'm not. To be honest with you, it would have been nice to juice, but I'm feeling just as good right now, to be honest with you, as if I was already. I got filled on that long. To be honest, I have 90% of the excitement and the joy of if I had gotten filled, So it's all good. And at this point, like I said, if it can't gap fill, that's bearish, right? So I would have already put my stop loss at break even. And this, all it really is I'm just trying to build up confidence so that I can have a big S&P position next week. I'm trying to build up confidence so that I feel like I'm not going to just be a dumbass when I start scalping S&P live with you guys. Right? So, level to level, obviously we're staring at it, hovering above point of control. And, I wouldn't really want to lose that. If it wants to go and do a bullish retest on the gap, that's okay. All right. I wouldn't get stopped out until it came back below the gap. If it dipped its toes in and it jumped right back out, going back in again would be bearish. So anytime that it penetrates back into the box, that would be my stop loss, right? But as long as we can hold point of control and go into that gap, right, that's good. Once we fill that gap, we need to turn that VWAP into support. Then we can probably make a higher high. All right, you with me? Crypto Hawk. It seems so obvious when we discuss it. I think discussion can prevent some easy errors. That's what I'm gonna offer is we will talk about it live. But honestly though, I said all this shit live though. I started the conversation by saying, okay guys, this is kind of bullish. And then I wanted you guys to see where the S&P gaps were on RTH. So we looked at it. And I said, okay, well, we know that this is going to be bearish, right? So you know that it's going to start to push its way down. However, we know that there's a gap here. So if it goes into the gap and it starts spending time, then yeah, that's really bearish. And then we're going to rotate this way. However, if we dip our toes in and get the fuck out, we also know that's bullish structure, right? So, like I say, brother, no matter what I say, your subconscious bias is going to twist and interpret what I say to your own mind's favor. Okay? Have you ever heard the story about how 12 different people saw the same exact crime, but when the police interviewed each person, they all had differing, slightly differing interpretations of what happened? So that's no matter what I say, your subconscious bias is going to take control. So that is why it's so important that you understand what the fuck is going on. You can rewind and listen to exactly how I explained all of this and how I articulated all of this, but your subconscious bias is going to take that and interpret it its own way. Right? So, forget what I'm saying. I want you guys to be able to see what's happening and figure out what you want to do on your own. Make sense? Right? But in terms of what you're seeing in front of you, it's all by the book, is it not? When I say shit like, okay, we have a gap to the upside, you know that it's going to initially react in a bearish way, right? We always identify levels. And so you have a gap right here. Okay, so it's level to level. So if you're expecting that it's going to react bearishly, well, where's the first level that you'd be thinking about? Well, it would be the beginning of the gap. Okay, so you know that if it starts to spend time in here, you know that the probability to go all the way and close that gap is high. You also know that if you dip your toes in and get the fuck out, that's bullish. So let the data, for example, there's a gap to the upside. Okay, let that tell you what the higher probability move is. Okay, we dipped our toes in and we got the fuck out of the gap to the downside. We're spending time above point of control. What is the probability increasing or decreasing that we're gonna be able to continue up higher? That's it. And then you guys can figure out what the fuck you wanna do. Some people might be shorting the VWAP where I might be TPing my long. You know? I don't give a shit, do you? No one, I can't predict if it's going to go above that point of control or above VWAP. It might just fill the gap, find resistance at VWAP and resume lower. Can't predict. So, David Steele says, were the Bugamas bullish this morning too? What I don't like about this is it's not a standard distribution. Okay, this breaking, like these highs, makes it more inconclusive, David Steele. And I'm going to nerd out on Bugamas for you guys next week too. How about that? Woo! Next week gonna be juice! RIP to motherfuckers that are going to miss next week. Kimber, can you repeat the whole lesson that you did? I wasn't there. If you missed it, I'm going to just have to redirect y'all to the YouTube highlights. Exactly. I'm going to have to exclamation highlights for sure. Yeah. Feeling Boris's exam next week. May I rest in peace? Oh, man. But it's all good. Everything is, all you got to do is get caught up on the highlights though. Exclamation YouTube, exclamation rewind, okay? The whole entire VOD is going to be available. My bad. I forgot the music was off. I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking. So I'm just trying to think, is there an actual long that we should take when it loses this VWAP? And I'm trying to kind of see the timing. You know, does Bitcoin really want 92 before 105? You know, shit like that. I think we could get a lot of altcoin longs if Bitcoin came down for 98.4 for the bullish retest. But anything below that would probably make it lose these VWAPs, you know? Tofu is asking, did ES get rejected off of VWAP? First off, what do you think about this? Ewy! Kachuya! What do you think about that? And ES, there you go. Gajoe Shibaya. Yeah, just math. Let me just finish up a couple things. You know we're gonna get nasty with this. I'm just trying to figure out where. I gotta get out of here pretty soon, so let me set a couple more alerts. I mean, it'd be nice if it holds. Lots of interesting. Yeah, it's hard to tell on this one. I'm not gonna set any alerts. I still want it lower. Yeah. Yeah, I rather wait for this, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I will do this though. I'll do something like this. So the original trade already played out. So this already played out. So let's clean this off. All right, I'm out of here, boys. I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow.
Yes, science.
Fernanzi, shall we reload the Latouche? Some thangs placed. But we juicing. What do you guys think about all this? We mathin'? Man, I wish we could have gotten a little bit more conclusion. So gapped.
Latouche, motherfucker, the math
Filled
is the math.
the gap. Guess where it pulled back to? Okay. And then it's just getting rejected at point of control. So close the gap and resuming would be bearish. Staying below the point of control would also be bearish too. Roger that. Yeah, just math. And then if it comes back in, then, well, I don't get to see the data, so I can't take that long anymore, but there it is. Well, let's keep the gap. It's the fib that we can delete. No, let's keep everything so we can see what it looks like tomorrow. You guys Gucci! First 30-minute forms. Second, confirms. And if it really is a swing fail, it wouldn't lose what? Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. We're juicing. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss.